maybe I'll just use this on my mining rig.
That's my GPU.
Oh, is it? Oops. Okay, never
that,
mind.
please.
That's her GPU. Welcome everyone, Rabid here, and if you haven't yet, please hit that subscribe button, thumbs up button, as well as bell notification to be notified for future videos. So before we start building this thing, I'm going to go over the parts here. So we do have a 3060 3000 series card, which will be going in her gaming PC. And when mining, she says she wants to mine Ravencoin. So Ravencoin or Ergo, we'll see what she wants to do. We will set up her own wallets for her at some other point. Here we have a Ryzen 7 3700X CPU. So this is a 8-core, 16-thread CPU for her. We are going to be using an MSI B450 Gaming Plus motherboard. I found all these parts pretty much on a nice budget build here, so this isn't too expensive. We have an NZXT H110 case right there, as well as a EVGA 750 watt G3 gold standard power supply. Now over here we have her pink little gaming chair. It also has a fold out recliner as well as a footrest if she, you know, needs to take a break and relax. Let's put that back in there. So there's our nice little pink chair. We got a nice pink, it's all LCD or RGB backlit keyboard, as well as a nice pink mouse and mouse pad. And this is all an RGB nice pink gaming headset for her. And this is an old stand that we found. Now I am gonna have to wire the Ethernet cable from the back of here all the way around and over into my network switch, which is running with all my crypto rigs right about there. So funny story guys, when I first pulled this motherboard out, we know B450, that is an AMD chipset, so Intel CPUs will not work on an AMD motherboard. Now they sent instructions, that was from an Amazon deal, warehouse deal thing, and they sent instructions to hook up an Intel CPU but not an AMD CPU. Usually sometimes they have both on them, but they only have the Intel instructions. So I was like, what is going on here? This is a B450. I double checked to make sure it is B450, and we can see right there it does say B450. So yes, this is AMD, this is all set, but why they sent instructions for Intel, I have no idea, but it doesn't matter. We know how to hook this thing up. We've done a whole bunch of builds in the past, so it's really easy to figure this out. But if you do order on Amazon warehouse deals and something like this happens and it's your first time ever building, you may run into computations and have to hit the old Google machine. So just a little pointer tip there, so some of you out there. Here is our CPU, Ryzen 7 3700X, and again, that is 8 cores, 16 threads. Plenty to get that gaming done, as well as possibly mine herself some crypto, Raptorium, maybe XMR. We'll see what she decides to do. So there's our motherboard. We'll get this in right away. So you can kind of see there's a little white tab in the bottom left corner. Most of these boards do seem to be in the bottom left corner when it comes to Ryzen 3000 as well as 5000 CPUs. So we're just going to plop this in here, get it in nice and easy. Whoa, there, we're fell into place. Give it a wiggle. Yes, we are definitely tight. Now we'll just lock it down and we are set. All good. Next up is our cooler. Okay guys, so here is our cooler. We are using the stock cooler. This is plenty fine when it comes to this CPU. Even for mining on a 3900X, this cooler is all you really need. Now you can see there's an L and an H right there. That is low speed and high speed. I already put it to high. We're going to run this thing at the high RPM. And all that switch does is allow it to hit higher RPMs when the CPU does heat up. And this also comes pre-applied with their own thermal paste. Now I'm going to wipe this off, clean it up, and apply my own thermal paste. If you may have seen the rumors or whatnot, but this thermal paste can get quite sticky. And if you put it on here and you decide to swap that CPU out earlier on the 3000 series, you could potentially, it could stick to it and pull that CPU right apart. That is recommended to always warm it up, so run it for a couple hours and then do it while it's all soft and lubed up. But I'm just going to change out this thermal paste here so we don't have that issue in the future. There we have it. It's all nice and clean. Now this was really easy. I didn't need anything at all. Just a simple towel and give it a wipe. It was nice and soft and it just came off very easily. So I'm going to apply some thermal paste here. I will show you what I am using. This is the Noctua. Woo, there we go. Noctua NTH1. It is the older version, but I got a whole bunch of these when I got those NHD15 coolers for my other mining rigs. So I'm going to use this stuff up instead of using the default paste that. Alright, so a couple things about Ryzen CPUs. Unlike Intel, where you can just put a bead in the middle, these actually have two chips. One pretty much right under the Y here in the middle, and the other one is just under this E. So instead of the bead method, I like to put a nice line right across the bottom of Ryzen here, and that should cover both and get a nice even spread throughout this chip and keep it nice and cool. I heard something ramp right up in here, but I believe it was this 1500 watt power supply that decided to kick the fan on a bit because it was getting a little bit warm down here. So it is cooling off a bit now. I thought maybe a GPU was starting to die or something, overheating, and fans revved out, but it was just this PSU there going on. So everything is fine and back to building. Okay, so there's our thermal paste. You can see it right along the bottom of Ryzen right there. And I ran right out. So that was just enough to finish off this CPU. So I do have some more, but that's all right because we do have enough here for this one to run just fine. Next up, we do have our RAM. So I'm using Corsair Vengeance RGB Pros, and these are the white ones to kind of match the case up. Now you always got to look out, this is the part where you should always check your manual again. The manual that came with this is pretty incomplete because it was an Amazon warehouse deal. But on the MSIs, it usually seems the back away from the actual CPU is AB. So you should go this way, and I'm assuming it's based on the red. Now I'm not going to know unless I Google it, or I just pretty much get it all together and see how it runs. So I'm just going to base it off the red ones here, and we'll see how we go, because this is how all my X470s are. So we're just hoping we are right. So pull those in, clamp her down, boom, boom, good to go. Next up, we're going to hit the other one here. Now you are going to have to line this up. One side is longer than the other side. Make sure you don't do it the wrong way and slam it in, or you will wreck your pins, and you just don't want that to happen. That'd be bad. Get this all lined up as well. Get it in there, clamp her down. Alright, RAM is set. Just make sure. You never want anything loose. You know, some slightest issue, figure out why isn't this booting. It could be simply because this isn't quite all the way down. So you do want to make sure all your connections are always tight. That way you don't run into issues later on in your build. Alright, everything's looking pretty good. I believe the next step would be to install this motherboard into that case over there. Okay, so I was getting ready, going through the standoffs inside the case, and it looks like this is either like a double male end, or the old owner that's broke off their standoff bolt inside of it. So there you can see where it's screwed in, and here's the top. So it is still thread sticking out of there. So I don't know what happened with this when they returned it, or whatever happened to be the case. Like, the case is in perfect condition, no scratches, but this standoff either has a broken bolt in it, or it's like a double pin and it's the wrong one. So something crazy going on there. It is a good thing they sent an extra one. So I'm going to have to replace that and then put this motherboard inside. We got the motherboard mounted here. Now, a few of the standoffs actually use different screws. So I have to go through all the bags, and I did need two separate ones. So again, everything is from Amazon warehouse deals. And yeah, be very careful because things like to not match. And we found out that some things are stripped and all sorts of fun stuff getting this thing together. But we are making progress, and now it is time to get our power supply in there. PSU is all together here, obviously not inside of our case, but I took all the cables that I am going to need for this build, put them all on so they are all together. That way I can just slip it in on the back side there and then put it in, and all my wires will be there. Now I always get like the same brand PSUs, that way I always have tons of extra cables. So I have like, I don't even know, 6, 7, 8, maybe 9 of these 750 G3s. And each one has lots of leftover cables. So if I ever need to get a new cable or something, I have lots of spares. So once you do pick a nice PSU you are fond of, whether it's ATX, which I like to use when it comes to CPU mining, once you pick a nice brand, I recommend, if you can, always try to keep getting the same ones. That way you have plenty of extra cables for any of your needs in the future. So we are just right full of fun times, courtesy of Amazon warehouse. So 2 out of 4 of these, so 50% of the bolts that hold in the PSU are stripped out. That one in the corner there, it's holding not too bad, and the top 2 are tight. But for the most part, that's completely stripped out, and that one is barely holding. But it should work. We are still fairly firm here. Nothing wiggling too much, so it will work just fine. Next up, we're going to be throwing in our SSD drives, our solid state drives. So you can see here, this is a 1 terabyte Samsung 870 QVO. This will be the games drive for booting your games up quick and everything. And here we got a Kingston 240 gigabyte. This will be the Windows boot drive just to run Windows. And there's a crazy reflection right there. I have to retake this a couple times because I caught myself. Almost KYC'd. SSD drives are installed. We got our game drive there, Windows boot drive there. Now all that is left is hook up our power supply cables, get power to everything, install our motherboard cables in there from our case, power switch, all that good stuff, and then our GPU and obviously the PCI Express to there. Now I'm debating on taking out these blowhole here and this exhaust fan in the back and possibly throwing in those RF 120M fans from Deepcool, and they're all RGB, so they look a lot better in here. So I still don't know if I can do that, but it is a possibility. So I think I pretty much got everything hooked up. Now this motherboard does not have a USB-C, so I'm not plugging this in. I'll just be wrapping it up. Obviously we've got some cable management to do here on the back side. Let's take a look at our front. Things are looking nice and open. Pretty good. I need another fan. I thought I had extra, but I don't. We'll see how it turns out when we turn this thing on. But I did end up swapping out the two blowhole ones, so the blowhole up top and this exhaust fan in the back here, and I put one in the front because this did not come with any intake, so we need at least one intake. I'd rather have two because we do have two exhaust fans. It's always better to have same amount of airflow in and out, but that's all right. We got this going. Now all that's left is put in our GPU, clean up the backside, and see if this thing turns on. And here we have everyone's favorite part, whether it's a crypto mining rig or a gaming PC, and that is the GPU. So here we are going with a 3060. I got a buddy, a community member, he found this for me in Ontario, picked it up and shipped it out to me, so thanks a lot for that. And I do need 2 more of these because we do have 2 more CPU mining rigs to put together, so I'm gonna need a GPU for them, and obviously I am looking for 3060s. And yeah, all the paperwork just flew out. So here is our unboxing of this 3060 for the little one's gaming PC. Nice wrapping. Watch me open this up and there's a 1660 in here, but it's wrapped up pretty nice, so we'll see. Nah, I trust him. I know he did good. Here we go. I got the receipt and everything. So, open up, bam, bam. Now we'll go through the model number of this because I'm not sure the model number or which, what's it called, LHR version this actually is, 1 or 2. So again, let me know in the, this is a KR by the looks of things, so in the comments let me know which one is this, version 1 or version 2, because I have no idea and I totally forgot what you guys said last video. But yeah, here, this is the KR version. I believe you guys said KT was LHR version 1, so this is probably version 2, but again, doesn't matter. This is for Ergo or Ravencoin. Ergo, for, so supposedly version 2 is affected a little bit on it, but we're gonna have to get this plastic off here because we're not gonna want to be running any plastic. Well, I got the plastic off, so maybe I'll just use this on my mining rig.
That's my GPU.
Oh, is it? Oops. Okay, never mind.
Please?
That's her GPU. So we are up and running. Windows is currently installing on here. We have all her fancy pink stuff all lit up nice. Oh, I got my microphone caught on the chair. But yeah, once we get Windows installed and stuff, we can turn all this pink inside as well. But everything's coming along, looking really good. Let's see what happens if we do shut this light off right quick. And yeah, it's kind of glowing a little bit. There's her headphones, there's her keyboard, mouse all going crazy girl colors. And I'm snagged again. I always do that. And then yeah, then we will get this thing all nice and pink once it's ready. So yeah, this is her first gaming PC, and it'll also turn into her own mining rig. So pretty sweet, guys. Thanks for watching, everyone. Please hit that subscribe button, thumbs up button, bell notification for future videos, and I'll catch you on the next one. Rabid out. Thank you for watching, everyone. If you haven't, please comment, subscribe, and like this video, as well as check out one of these other videos if you have not seen it yet. I do try to stream every Saturday and Sunday, so stay tuned for more future content.